Finding a weakness in your opponent's game is vitally important to your victory. Today we're going to watch some duels from the perspective of the Shinobi, a character that excels at exploiting weaknesses. Let's get started. For our first match, we're going against a Highlander, and like I said before, our main objective here is to fight in an area where we're most comfortable, so mid to long range, and keep the Highlander away from us. We don't want to get hit with that big ass sword because it deals a lot of damage. So far, we're doing a pretty good job of defending ourselves. We haven't gotten much damage on our opponent, though. The Shinobi doesn't hit too hard, but he's definitely in a better position than the Conqueror in the sense that he gets 25 damage on his light attacks. But the Highlander, anytime we make a mistake, we get utterly brutalized. He did go out of stamina there, unfortunately. We parried his attack, got the knockdown, but we threw a ranged attack instead of a normal heavy, which meant we did not get the maximum available punish. Now we're out of stamina, a heavy attack coming through. We attempted to parry it, but we were out of range, and thank goodness we were. The heavy attack connected and gave us the kill, so we made an error in judgment and misjudged the spacing, but it wound up working out for us. All things considered, I think we did a pretty decent job in the first round. Hopefully this good fortune continues as we go forward, landing a deflect on the Celtic Curse, not following up with a light attack or a kick. We could have gotten more damage from that. It's a bit unfortunate, and it's also unfortunate that the Highlander's top heavy connected and took away pretty much 50% of our health, so we've got to do a better job of defending against that. Going for the kick, covering the missed kick with a heavy attack. We could have backflipped out of that as well, but we opted to try and get a punish instead. So that right there is something pretty much every character in the game can do if they have a bashing attack. If it misses or if your opponent dodges, you can cover it with a light attack or a heavy attack to interrupt their guard break attempt. Now, obviously, the Shinobi can take that a step further by backflipping out of harm's way, but the whole balance of that is a discussion for another day. We've got to talk about the fact that the Highlander's going into offensive form, and that has the potential to negate a lot of what we can do. His dodge recovery is 400 milliseconds, so he can put the hurt on us with those dodges, followed up with kicks or unblockable heavies. Unfortunately, though, he is out of stamina. Now, this is a good opportunity for us to apply pressure, but our stamina was a bit low, so we opted to back away. Throwing a ranged heavy, the Highlander's top heavy too slow to punish us for that. Now at this point we are in the danger zone. One more mistake and that's it for us. Missing the kick. The Highlander may have made an incorrect input, or he just got a bit scared. He tried to roll away and we caught him with a ranged heavy in the back. So we're going to take that one 3 rounds to 0, but we saw a completely different side to the Highlander in this final round. The offensive form allowing him to float like a butterfly and sting like a fucking truck, taking 40 damage anytime we make an incorrect read or misjudge the distance. But thankfully we were able to hit him out of his offensive form, which allowed us to deal with the slower and blockable attacks. He tried to transition back into the offensive form, but we knocked him out of it with a quick light attack. For our second and final match for the day, we're going against the same Highlander player. Now, after seeing what he did with that offensive form in the previous round, we have to wonder if he's going to manipulate that again. Only time will tell. And there we have it, folks. We see the offensive form coming out right away, but we parried the heavy attack. We're trying to create as much momentum for ourselves as possible. We started spinning up the ranged heavy attack, but we canceled it out with a dodge. A light parry going to secure the first round victory for us. I believe that was a perfect. Now, there's not too much to say about this other than it looked incredibly cool. This was something straight out of a classic kung fu movie, doing all sorts of backflips and spinning kicks. It looked absolutely fantastic, and this is one of the reasons I love playing the Shinobi so much. He looks beautiful in action. But on a more serious note, that was a great example of keeping the momentum on our side and using the strengths of the Shinobi, which are counterattacking, to the best of our ability. Our 500 millisecond light attacks can come from any direction, and those are great for interrupting slower attacks that don't have armor, like the Highlander's unblockable heavies in offensive form. The double dodge, great for defense. It allows us a second opportunity to get away from danger if our timing is a little bit off. And we're going to finish that round pretty much doing more of the same. game using all aspects of the Shinobi's kit to the best of our ability. Now, I'm not the best Shinobi in the world, and I think that much is obvious, but we did a pretty good job of manipulating what the character is supposed to do. Now, the Highlander is on death's door. We are on match point, so he's got to do something serious if he wants to make a comeback. Now, we started off with that top heavy, taking us down, but it was the Celtic Curse top heavy, so it's not as much as the normal one. So we do have a little bit more wiggle room. Getting caught by the Celtic Curse, we dodged at the wrong time and getting chopped down by that unblockable heavy, getting decapitated. The big damage from the Highlander, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 hits that took us out. So this is obviously one of the biggest struggles for the Shinobi, and even a character like the Centurion. Anytime you mess up when you're going against someone that deals between 30 and 45 damage per strike, you've got to be incredibly careful because your mistakes will be severely punished. Now we're seeing that offensive form coming out again. This is obviously where my opponent excels the most. His dodge recovery time, allowing him to whiff that heavy attack and then dodge the kick immediately without breaking a sweat. He's already got a huge health lead on us. One more hit from either offensive or defensive form should be enough to kill us, and just like that, we get cut down, decapitated once again. So let's look at that one more time. I love seeing the Highlander dodging in offensive form. He is so agile, throwing out the heavy attack. His recovery time incredibly quick. He dodges and goes for that unblockable heavy. I was trying to cover myself with a heavy attack of my own, but it wasn't fast enough. Now I could have and probably should have reset to neutral with a backflip, but in the end, I may have still gotten chopped the hell up. So moving into the final round, the Highlander has done a great job of closing the gap, starting off with the offensive form again, throwing out 2 ranged attacks. That is definitely not a good idea with his dodge recoveries being so low. There's really nothing I can do to punish him. I may have been able to catch him with a guard break, but that wasn't on the cards. I think I got a little bit afraid of him, just going for dodges, trying to create some space, and in the end, gonna get destroyed. So that was a very quick final round. My opponent obviously found a weakness in my game and decided to exploit the hell out of it. He noticed I was getting some nice deflects on him, so he went into offensive form. Those unblockable heavy attacks cannot be deflected, and after getting hit in the face with him so many times, I got a little bit spooked. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was afraid, so I wasn't thinking completely rationally. We saw in the final round I had an opportunity to double dash into a guard break, and that would have knocked him out of the offensive form, swung the momentum back to my side of the table, but in the end, it didn't work out that way. So there we go, folks. We're finishing up a little bit early today. That's what she said, but don't worry, there are plenty more duels in For Honor to come. So we're going to wrap it up here by saying the name of the game. Come on, it's For Honor. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know which characters send chills running down your spine. Is it the Highlander and his big-ass sword and his thick thighs, or does the Raider make you tremble in fear? Or maybe it's the Peacekeeper. Whatever the case is, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.